10 Stoic Ways to Stop Overthinking. Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." There are many reasons why you overthink. It's not just nowadays, but at any point in history. This is a characteristic of humanity. Are you familiar with the frustration of a mind cluttered with noise, the agony of indecision, or the paralysis by analysis that comes with overthinking? It's hard to have a happy and peaceful life if you always feel anxious. Epictetus said, "Accept that worry is a normal part of life." If you want to make progress, stop worrying about everything. Even if you have everything, you will still develop anxieties. No one can control everything, and that's perfectly fine. Life is like that, nothing lasts forever. So, focus on the mind. A calm mind is what's truly valuable. Why are you always dominated by worries or overthinking? And here are 10 ways to conquer the habit of overthinking. Transform overthinking into an external entity. Overthinking often creeps in unannounced, much like a sudden fog that obscures a previously clear view. It begins with a solitary concern or notion and swiftly balloons, threatening to topple your balance. In our era of relentless information barrage, it's a familiar battle, with worries like, what if, what next, or what could have been, inundating our minds. Echoing the words of the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." We approach our first strategy. Conceptualize overthinking as an external entity. This isn't about demonizing your thoughts, but acknowledging that they are not your essence. They are intruders of tranquility. Envision these intrusive thoughts as mere clouds scudding across a mountain's peak. You are that steadfast mountain, unshaken, as the clouds meander by. How does one repel these intruders? Stoicism instructs us to witness without interaction. This practice not only diminishes their impact, but also solidifies the realization that thoughts are ephemeral. They have power only if you clutch them tightly. As you hone the skill of separating your essence from the onslaught of overthinking, it becomes easier to recognize that you are more than your thoughts. This awareness serves as a bulwark, akin to using earplugs to block out the din. It's a conscious, consistent practice that strengthens with daily use. When you catch yourself in the throes of overthinking, pause and envision the thought as mere noise, irrelevant and distinct from your true self. In doing so, you're not just shielding yourself from the barrage of overthinking, you're reclaiming your mental space and serenity, one deliberate step at a time. Harnessing focus to regain control. Do you ever find yourself trapped in a whirlwind of what-ifs and catastrophic predictions, replaying worries until you're drained? Imagine your mind as a browser with multiple tabs open, each blaring a video, and you're unable to stop them. This mental juggling act is a symptom of our times, with the constant pressure to juggle everything leading to a vicious cycle of overthinking. A cluttered mind, much like a cluttered desk, requires organization. Shifting your mental focus is not merely for tranquility. It's about reclaiming control and silencing the cacophony of potential outcomes to savor the present. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, encapsulated this when he stated, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." His words lay the foundation for regaining control through refocused energy. To combat overthinking, anchor yourself in the present. Take on a task, any task, and pour your energy into it. This pivot in attention draws you out from the chaos of future worries and plants you firmly in the now. The method is straightforward, yet impactful. Immerse yourself in an activity that demands your undivided attention. It could be tidying your desk, taking a brisk walk, or immersing yourself in a book. These actions live in the now, not in the tomorrow or the yesterday. Directing your thoughts to coincide with your actions isn't mere distraction. It's taking charge of your energy's direction. Stoicism isn't about thought suppression. It's about thought management. Choosing where to focus your mental efforts is a practice in mental discipline. The aim isn't to eliminate overthinking completely. That's not realistic. The aim is to recognize unhelpful thoughts and possess the strategies to redirect them. Consider it akin to muscle training. The more you practice refocusing, the more robust and resilient your mind becomes. You'll discover that the once daunting waves of overthinking can be subdued, one deliberate action and moment of presence at a time. Embracing change and the art of release. In the hustle of life, our minds can become entangled in the webs of yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's worries. This mental tug-of-war is not selective, plaguing the young and old alike, from the student to the seasoned professional. It's a silent battle fought in the quiet hours of the night or the rush of a busy day. Yet, in this whirlwind of thought, we can find an anchor in the wisdom of Epictetus, who boldly stated, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive." At first glance, this may strike a somber chord, but it's truly a call to embrace life's fleeting nature, a cornerstone of Stoic thought. Our persistent worries are as transient as the moments we live. To embrace change is to accept that our thoughts are but visitors, passing through the inn of our minds. They are not permanent residents. To practice this, imagine a mental release of these visitors, letting them go with the ease of leaves clouds drifting across the sky. This simple act of visualization offers not just momentary relief, but plants the seeds of a deeper understanding. Thoughts are impermanent by nature. Incorporate this practice into your daily life and watch as it reshapes your relationship with your inner dialogue. Releasing these thoughts is not a sign of defeat. It's a testament to strength. It's a conscious decision to reclaim the space in your mind that was once occupied by unproductive ruminations. As this practice becomes second nature, you'll discover a tranquility that was always present, simply concealed by the clamor of overthinking. To embrace the ebb and flow of life, to let go of the thoughts that do not serve us, is not just a method, it's a journey towards a more peaceful existence, firmly rooted in the present. Create a worry period. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated, Confucius once said. The relentless worries that often occupy our minds, much like the constant low buzz of a refrigerator, ever present, sometimes faint, but always there. These persistent thoughts can storm our mental stage at the most inopportune times, whether we're immersed in work, cherishing moments with loved ones, or seeking the solace of sleep. Yet, let us heed the counsel of the Stoic sage Epictetus, who taught us, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." At first glance, this advice may appear unrelated, but it is a courageous call to action, urging us to value our serenity above the ceaseless chatter of anxieties. Carve out a daily interval, perhaps a mere 20 minutes post-lunch, when you permit yourself to fully engage with your worries. In this time, you're invited to dissect them, to trace their origins, and perhaps to capture them on paper. What is the essence of your concern? What is the probability of these events coming to pass? And what measures can you take in response? This concentrated effort often illuminates the truth that many of our fears are mere phantoms, intimidating in appearance yet insubstantial when bravely confronted. This method instills in us the understanding that there is a time for worry, and it is not perpetual. Once the worry period concludes, we proceed with our day. We've allotted time for our concerns, and now we set them aside. Such compartmentalization empowers us to reclaim the reins of our daily lives. The objective is not the eradication of worry. That is a fool's errand. Instead, by confining our worries, we diminish their influence over us. Employing this technique is akin to organizing the clutter of our minds, assigning each thought its proper place, and basking in the peace that comes with an orderly mental environment. You may soon discover that worries diminish in strength when they are not permitted to wander unchecked, and as a result, life becomes a tad lighter, a tad more delightful. Simplify overwhelming thoughts into manageable actions. Overthinking can make us feel burdened, as if we're trapped beneath a massive boulder of worry, mirroring the world's immense pressures. We're all too familiar with this burden, intensified by a society that demands excellence in every facet of life. The expectation to succeed can leave us frozen in fear and indecision. Marcus Aurelius, A beacon of wisdom once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This pivotal thought is the cornerstone of our fifth strategy, breaking down overwhelming thoughts into actionable steps. When faced with a daunting concern or intricate issue, the key is to dissect it into smaller, more digestible segments. Question yourself, what is the immediate next step I can take? Focus on that singular move, not the subsequent multitude. Taking even a minor step can significantly counteract overthinking. It shifts our focus from passive worrying to active doing, akin to loosening a complex knot by tackling one loop at a time. This doesn't trivialize the complexity of your worries. Rather, it's a strategic maneuver through them. The elegance of this approach lies in its straightforwardness and efficacy. Each incremental action propels you forward. And looking back, you'll see the once daunting boulder has become a trail of small stones you've traversed. This practice cultivates patience, fortitude, and confidence in facing challenges directly. What once appeared insurmountable is now behind you, replaced by a sense of achievement and clarity. Embrace gratitude to transform your outlook. Our minds are masterful illusionists, often fixating on what's missing, what might go wrong, or the ambitions we've yet to fulfill. This mental trap can be exhausting, leaving us feeling unsatisfied and weary. It's a common tale of focusing on life's not-yets and if-onlys, which eclipses the many positives we already possess. Marcus Aurelius, a sage of Stoicism, once remarked, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." This pearl of Stoic thought beckons us to pivot from a mindset of scarcity to one of plenty, from incessant pondering to heartfelt thankfulness. It's an invitation to appreciate the present's worth and the countless blessings that go unnoticed as we fret over the future. Cultivating gratitude is the antidote to the mind's restless wanderings. It roots us in the fertile ground of the present, where life truly unfolds. Begin this transformative journey by recognizing 3 aspects of your daily life for which you are thankful. Perhaps it's the aroma of morning coffee, the solace found in a cherished book, or a warm exchange with a neighbor. This modest ritual can steer your thoughts away from the whirlpool of rumination and towards a profound appreciation for the now. Grounding yourself in gratitude quiets the mental clamor and enriches your everyday journey. This fresh viewpoint can redefine how you confront life's hurdles, transforming them into chances to further acknowledge and cherish what is already flourishing in your life. Prioritize effort. Over results obsessive contemplation is often our psyche's tango with the future. Its potential results, its what-ifs, and the daunting array of failures and letdowns it might hold. This forward-looking anxiety can freeze us in our tracks, fixating on what might happen instead of what we are actually doing. In our society, where results typically dictate the means, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that if the outcome is not guaranteed, the effort isn't worthwhile. However, Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, guides us succinctly. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Stoicism directs us to concentrate on our endeavors and intentions, not on the unpredictable results. This isn't to say we shouldn't aim high or pursue ambitious goals, rather. It's about recognizing the inherent value in our dedication, the honesty of our actions, and the honor in our journey. To embrace this mindset, when you catch yourself agonizing over possible outcomes, pivot your focus back to the effort at hand. Question yourself, are you giving it your all? Are you acting with noble intentions? Are you being faithful to your principles? This method is about immersing ourselves in the present task, exerting our best effort, and understanding that's the extent of our duty. Concentrating on the effort frees us from the shackles of overthinking. It enables us to exist in the now, to perform optimally without the looming specter of what-ifs clouding our enjoyment. It turns our actions into more than just means to an end. They become reflections of our essence and dedication. With this altered perspective, your journey becomes more than a conduit to a destination. It's a manifestation of living purposefully, where each stride is a triumph in its own right. The last 3 strategies unveil new viewpoints. equipping you to discover latent capabilities, cultivate actionable resilience, and manage life's intricacies with equilibrium. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Our minds often spiral into overthinking when confronted with discomfort or change. We endlessly simulate events, trying to foresee all outcomes, bracing for every discomfort. This mental simulation can be draining, turning our comfort zone into a confining space that hinders growth with overthinking as its vigilant guard. Marcus Aurelius once stated, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing," epitomizing the Stoic commitment to confronting challenges rather than shying away. Embracing voluntary discomfort conditions our minds to manage uncertainty and curtail overthinking. It involves deliberate, modest steps outside our comfort zones, fostering resilience and flexibility. To adopt this in daily life, begin with manageable acts like enduring a cold shower, foregoing a pillow, or opting to walk over driving. Challenge your routine and observe the ensuing emotions impartially. This is not self-punishment, but a lesson that discomfort is not as intimidating as it seems in our overwrought thoughts. Voluntary discomfort, surprisingly, makes us more at ease with life's variances. Regularly facing the uncomfortable makes the unknown known, calming the mind. It becomes less perturbed by change, concentrating instead on what we can influence, our reactions. This profound change in outlook not only reduces overthinking, but also forges an inner resilience, steadfast amidst life's inevitable ups and downs. Contemplate life's impermanence. In the throes of overthinking, we often fixate on the minutiae, losing track of the broader perspective. We get entangled in a web of what-ifs, which skews our perception, magnifying trivial issues into seemingly colossal obstacles that monopolize our thoughts and energy. Seneca's words, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it," serve as a stark reminder of life's fleeting nature. Overthinking steals moments that could be lived, experiences that could be enjoyed. Stoicism challenges us to consider whether our current preoccupations will be significant in the grand scheme of our lives. To combat overthinking, it's beneficial to periodically zoom out and view our life as a whole. Acknowledge that many of our worries are ephemeral and ultimately negligible. When caught in a spiral of thoughts, take a moment to reflect on the brevity of life and question the worthiness of these concerns in the face of our limited time. Reflecting on life's brevity helps us to sort our experiences and worries by their true importance. This is not an invitation to gloom or apathy, but a call to value the present and concentrate on what's genuinely important. It's an effective remedy for overthinking, as it brings our focus back to the present, enhances our appreciation for the current moment, and lessens the burden of future-oriented stress. Let the transient nature of life inspire you to live more vividly in the present, painting your life's canvas with the rich hues of active and mindful living. Draw on external wisdom. Sometimes our minds resemble a labyrinth where each twist leads to greater disarray and overthinking. We attempt to piece together a puzzle, only to discover the pieces multiplying, which leaves us feeling trapped. Overthinking is essentially this, a self-contained cycle of thoughts with no apparent way out. Seneca, renowned for his sagacity, advised, "Consult your friend on everything, especially on those matters concerning yourself." His counsel may then be useful where your own self-love might impair your judgment. This advice reveals a vital strategy for navigating the tumultuous waters of overthinking. Stoicism advocates for the pursuit of external perspectives to interrupt our internal monologues. This could mean seeking the fresh viewpoint of a friend, the unbiased guidance of a mentor, or the enduring insights from literature. In today's terms, turn to trusted and esteemed individuals for advice. Whether it's someone from your personal network or a seasoned professional, discussing your thoughts with them can shed light on your situation in two ways. It brings clarity as you verbalize your internal dialogue, and it introduces new objective viewpoints that might have eluded you. This practice not only provides tangible solutions but also reinforces the value of human connection. Sharing our challenges tends to lessen their weight, not as a sign of weakness but as an acknowledgement of our collective resilience as social creatures. Allow the insights of others to illuminate your path through the fog of overthinking. With each exchange, the puzzle pieces fall into place more readily, not because the issues are simpler, but because you're no longer facing them alone. As we draw this journey to a close, remember that the Stoic path is one of continuous practice and mindful application. The 10 Stoic methods to halt the whirlwind of overthinking are not merely concepts to understand, but principles to live by. Together, we can transform philosophy into action and action into a more serene and resilient life. What step will you take today on this Stoic path to stillness and clarity? Share your first action in the comments, and let's embark on this transformative quest together.